So, have you ever found yourself kind of stuck? Maybe making the same decisions over and over without really thinking, or getting caught in those familiar negative thought loops.
Yeah, that feeling.
If that sounds familiar, well, you might be dealing with something called mind traps.
Exactly. And today we're going to dive into Tim Greene's book, Mind Traps. It's really interesting. He sets it up almost like a mini psychology course, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very practical, aimed at anyone who wants to sort of get a handle on their own thinking processes.
Okay, so our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is really to pull out the key stuff from Greene's work for you. We want to shine a light on how your mind can, play tricks on you sometimes.
Right.
Uncover those common flawed thinking patterns we all kind of stumble into. And crucially, give you some actual ways to get out of them.
Actionable strategies.
Totally. Think of this as like a shortcut, a way to spot those unhelpful mental habits and make clear, more deliberate decisions. Let's get into it.
Okay, so these mind traps, what are they fundamentally? Greene calls them these automatic psychological thinking patterns.
Automatic, huh?
Yeah, and they subtly, almost sneakily, stop us from making really sound decisions. And the fascinating part, they often work completely under the radar. You might be in one right now and not even know it.
Wow. Like that
Yeah.
invisible influence, isn't it? Like, say you fail an exam, just one exam.
Yeah.
And immediately your brain jumps to, that's it, I'm a failure, I'll never get anything right. How does Greene help us unpack that kind of automatic jump?
That's a perfect example of what he calls the trap of overgeneralization, a classic.
Okay.
Greene points out how our minds grab one specific thing, like that single failed exam, and just boom, blow it up into this universal truth about who we are, what our future holds.
Right. One thing defines everything.
Exactly. And it often comes from this need to make quick conclusions. Even if they're wrong, they give us this kind of false sense of certainty,
Yeah, I get that. And it's definitely not just about exams, is it? I mean, these traps can sneak into everyday stuff, tiny interactions, big career moves.
Absolutely. They're pervasive.
So besides overgeneralizing, what are some other common ones Greene talks about?
Well, he lays out quite a few. One you often see first is catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing, okay.
This is where, any little setback, any potential problem, your mind just inflates it into the absolute worst case scenario. Like, your boss gives you some minor feedback, and instantly you're thinking, my job's gone, I'm getting fired for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely seen that one. Turning a tiny bump into Mount Everest. It's like our brains are wired for maximum drama sometimes.
It really feels like that sometimes.
What's another pattern he flags?
So building on that, there's black and white thinking. This one is all or nothing.
Right, no gray areas.
None. Either something is absolutely perfect, a total success, or it's completely worthless, a complete failure. There's just no room for, nuance or progress or just being okay with imperfection.
So if you didn't get the absolute best result,
You feel like you achieved nothing. Zero. If I wasn't number one, I'm a total loser. That kind of thinking.
and you can see how that rigid approach could feed right into something like perfectionism, which I know the book covers too.
Oh, definitely.
That voice inside demanding everything has to be 100% flawless or the whole thing's a wash.
Precisely. Yeah, perfectionism, often fueled by that black and white thinking, it just creates this incredibly harsh inner critic. Then you got personalization. This trap is where you take way too much blame for negative things, even stuff you had little or nothing to do with.
Like what?
Well, say a friend seems a bit down or quiet. Your first thought might be, oh no, they're upset. It must be something I did wrong, even with zero evidence.
Right, automatically making it about you.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't even need someone else's mood as a trigger. We think we know what they're thinking.
The mind reading trap.
You got it. You assume you know exactly what's going on in someone else's head, their thoughts, their intentions, without any actual information.
I just know they don't like my idea.
Exactly, when maybe they're just tired or thinking about lunch, who knows? And Greene really makes you wonder, how much emotional energy do we burn just running on these assumptions instead of, actually asking or finding out?
It's wild how many decisions just come down to a gut feeling, which that can be a trap too, right?
Oh, absolutely. That brings us neatly to emotional reasoning. This is where your feelings become your facts.
Okay, explain that.
The trap is believing that just because you feel a certain way, that feeling must reflect reality. I feel totally overwhelmed, therefore this task must be impossible.
Gotcha.
It takes these temporary emotions and treats them like objective truths, even if logic says otherwise. It can really block you from seeing solutions.
And things get even trickier because, like, we subconsciously look for stuff that confirms what we already think, don't we? We almost prefer to stick with our existing story.
And that is the power of confirmation bias, a really big one.
Yeah.
This trap makes us selectively notice, interpret, and remember information that just happens to fit with what we already believe or suspect.
So you see one glance you interpret as weird and think,
See, I knew they were jealous. Based on basically nothing, Greene really emphasizes how this blinds us. Blinds us to other viewpoints, or evidence that flat out contradicts our initial idea, creates a really narrow little world.
and gosh, especially now with everything online, the comparison trap must be everywhere.
It is truly rampant, yeah. This trap is just that constant measuring stick, comparing your life, your job, your looks, whatever, to other people.
Often they're highlight reels.
Exactly, often based on these super curated, filtered online versions of their lives. Look at their perfect Instagram vacation. My life is so boring. It's just this endless cycle that almost guarantees you'll feel dissatisfied and have a warped sense of reality.
Yeah, definitely fallen into that one. And okay, finally, a really common one that holds people back. The blaming trap.
Ah, yes, the blaming trap. This is all about externalizing fault. Everything that goes wrong is always someone else's fault.
I failed a test because the teacher was bad.
Or, my project's late because my team dropped the ball. It completely stops you from reflecting or learning because the responsibility is always out there, never with you. No chance to grow from mistakes.
Okay, wow. So that's quite a list of traps we can fall into. Overgeneralization, catastrophizing, black and white perfectionism, personalization, mind reading.
Emotional reasoning, confirmation bias, comparison, blaming.
Yeah. So now that we've identified them, the big question is, what does Tim Greene say we can actually do? How do we get out of these things when they're so ingrained?
Right, the practical part. Greene offers several steps, but he stresses, rewiring these default settings. It takes real conscious effort. It's work.
Yeah, okay. So what's step one?
The first, and honestly probably the most critical step, is awareness.
Just knowing about them.
It's more than just knowing the names. It's about cultivating this mindful presence, this ability to actually catch yourself in the moment you're falling into a trap.
Okay.
It's about hitting pause and asking, like, hold on, is this thought actually real? Or is my mind doing that thing again, using one of these patterns?
That pause, that
Yeah.
self-questioning moment seems crucial. Okay, so you pause, you recognize, uh-oh, I'm catastrophizing again.
Yeah.
What's Greene's next piece of advice?
Next up is to actively reframe the thought.
Reframe it. How?
For every negative, distorted thought you catch, you consciously challenge it. You come up with a more logical, more balanced counterstatement.
So instead of I'm a complete failure,
You reframe it. Okay, I failed this specific time on this one thing, but that doesn't mean I'm a failure overall or that I can't succeed next time. It's about deliberately shifting the narrative away from that fixed negative certainty towards something more flexible, more open to possibility.
okay, that makes sense. It takes practice though, I bet. Your brain probably fights back initially.
Oh, absolutely. It's rewiring old habits. But then link that to the next step. Ask for evidence.
Challenge the thought directly.
Exactly. Actively look for proof, or importantly, the lack of proof for that negative thought. Ask yourself, okay, what concrete evidence do I actually have to back this up, or am I just running on an assumption here?
So if you think they're totally ignoring me,
You challenge it. What's the evidence? Could they just be busy? Could they be distracted by something completely unrelated to me? It forces you into critical thinking, away from just assuming things.
I really like Greene's next suggestion. It sounds simple, but feels pretty profound.
Yeah.
Treat yourself like you treat a friend.
Yes. Talk to yourself like a friend. This one's huge. Approach your own thoughts, your internal chatter, with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer someone you care about.
So ask yourself,
Would I ever say this harsh, critical thing to my best friend if they messed up like this? It cultivates self-compassion, which is a powerful antidote to the harsh self-criticism that fuels so many of these traps.
that probably feels really unnatural for a lot of people at first.
It really can. It's about consciously building up an internal advocate instead of just having that loud internal critic running the show.
And for people who find writing helpful,
Journaling can be incredibly powerful here. Actually, writing down your thoughts, especially when you feel stuck in a trap, helps you detangle them.
get it out of your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It brings clarity, structure. It lets you look at the thought more objectively from the outside almost. And often just seeing it written down helps you recognize the trap for what it is.
Okay. And finally, sort of grounding yourself, observing thoughts without getting swept away.
That leads to practice mindfulness, learning to be present right here, right now. Observing your thoughts and feelings come and go without judging them, without getting totally tangled up in them.
Creating some distance.
Yeah, it helps you create this healthy distance. You start to see thoughts as just transient mental events, not absolute truths that define you or reality. That really reduces the power of overthinking and getting trapped.
Okay, so we have awareness, reframing, asking for evidence, talking to yourself kindly, journaling, mindfulness. What does all this really mean for us day to day? Why is tackling these mind traps so vital?
Well, Tim Greene puts it very powerfully. He says, essentially, if you change the way you think, your life can change.
That's a big claim.
It is, but think about it. This isn't just about, feeling less negative. It's about mastering critical thinking. It's about developing the ability to look at any situation clearly, consciously, instead of just reacting based on emotion or old habits.
Our default settings.
Exactly.
Right.
Everyone has these default thinking patterns, right?
Yeah.
Shaped by our past or biases. Greene's work basically offers tools to help you consciously rewire those settings. It empowers you to actually choose how you interpret and react to the world around you.
Which really makes you wonder.
Yeah, it raises that big question. How much of your life right now is being run by these unconscious defaults? And what opportunities, what potential are you maybe missing out on because you're not actively questioning them?
So as you're listening to this, maybe take a second. What are you taking away? Do you ever really stop and question your own thoughts? Could you be, maybe without realizing it, a bit of a victim of your own thinking patterns?
Yeah.
Think about which of these traps we discussed, really hit home for you. Maybe one you've even noticed playing out this past week.
This deep dive, it's really just scratched the surface of the insights and mind traps. But hopefully it's given you some tools to start that process of rewiring, of engaging that critical thinking muscle more deliberately.
It comes down to understanding that how you see the world deeply shapes your experience of it.
And crucially, that you actually have the power, the agency to change that interpretation.
So just imagine for a moment. Imagine the shifts in your life, your decisions, your relationships, your overall well-being, if you could truly get a handle on your thinking. What possibilities might open up when you're not constantly, unconsciously tripping into these cognitive pitfalls? When you can choose clarity over automatic reaction.
It's a powerful thought.
This deep dive, it's really just the starting point of what could be an incredibly empowering journey for you.